गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So welcome you all to the today's class. So today we are reading from Canto 1st, Chapter 6, Shloka number 30, from the Chapter 6 entitled Conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. सहस्र युग पर्यन्ते उत्तात एदं शिशुश्रुतवा मरीचि मिश्र ऋषया प्राण्योभ्य जद्दिरे सहस्र युग पर्यन्ते उत्तायेदं श्रीश्रुतं मरीचि मिश्र ऋषया प्राण्योभ्य जद्दिरे सहस्र युग पर्यन्ते उत्तायदं श्रीश्रुत शता मरीचि मिश्र ऋषया प्राण्योभ्य जज्जिरे। Mataji's. Word to word meaning. Sahasra, 1000, Yuga, 43 lakhs, year, 43 lakh years, Paryantya, at the end of the duration, Uthaya, having expired, Idam, this, Sishrushata, desire to create again, Marichi Mishra, Rishi like Marichi, Rishaya, all the rishis, Pranabhya, out of his senses, Aham, I, Cha, also, Jadire, appeared. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Translation. After 43 billion years, solar years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and so on were created from the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. Purport. The duration of day in the life of Brahma is 4.32 billion solar years. This is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita. So far, this period, Brahmaji rests in Yoga Nidra within the body of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the generator of Brahma. Thus, after the sleeping period of Brahma, when there is again creation by the will of the Lord through the agency of Brahma, all the great rishis again appear from different parts of the transcendental body, and Narada also appears. This means that Narada appears in the same transcendental body just as a man awakes from sleep in the same body. Sri Narada is eternally free to move in all parts of the transcendental and material creations of the Almighty. He appears and disappears in his transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, unlike conditioned beings. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagun Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitvam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Padan Sagana Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarini Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhu Bhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome you to the today's morning Bhagavatam class. So very happy to welcome you to Hare Krishna. Today's Bhagavatam class. So we are discussing a very important verse from the chapter 6 of Canto 1, sloka number 30. So, the discussion points that we are going to concentrate today will be dealt with in the light of the commentaries and the lectures by senior devotees and Vaishnavas. So, whatever I am going to talk to you or discuss about the shloka will be nothing but the repetition of the great souls. So, in the process, if I commit any mistakes, please kindly forgive me for that. So far we have seen in the entire 6th chapter is dedicated to Narad Muni's entire process of how he began into bhakti and how he reached to the climax, the ultimate goal of seeing the Lord with the power of bhakti. And thereafter, because of the intensity and seriousness of his bhakti, he gets into a transcendental body. And after that, what happens is described in this shloka. So once again, at the end of the Brahma's day, when the devastation happens of the creation, Brahma goes to sleep into the Mahavishnu. And so along with Brahma, Narad also enters into that particular Brahma, and the entire sleep gets going. Once again, when the night ends, the creation once again begins with the instructions of the Lord and with the desire of Brahma. So in the process, he creates rishis, 10 rishis that we have seen, which include Marichi, Angira, Atri, Taksha, including Narada. So what is special about this particular shloka? We are going to look at it. So the points that we are looking at include very few points are there. That is Brahma's creation of the universe once again by the will of the Lord after that particular nidra. All great sages, rishis, appear again from different parts of the transcendental body of Brahma. Narad Muni also appeared in the same transcendental body, just as man awakes from sleep in the same body. Narad Muni is eternally free to travel in all the 3 worlds. He appears and disappears in his own transcendental body. And the last point that we are going to discuss as we are going through the Gita Marathon month, book distribution, some processes and strategies. So before I get into discussion, I would like to present one commentary by Srila Vishwanath Thakur, Chakravarti Thakur from Sarartha Darshini. And this is what he says about this shloka. At the end of the 1000 yuga cycles means at the end of the previous kalpa and the beginning of this kalpa, Marichi and other sages, Marichi Mishra, and I, that is Narad Muni, were born from the senses of Brahma, that is prana or manas. So this is a very short commentary given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So if we look at this particular shloka, as I told you, that entire chapter is dedicated to the glorification of the process of bhakti and how Narada charted his journey through that various stages of bhakti and how he reached to the ultimate position in bhakti, the climax part of bhakti, where he leaves his material body and enters into a transcendental body, a spiritual body, which is not subjected to any changing dimensions of time, is free from the rages of time. That is the beauty of that particular body that he achieves as a result of his bhakti. So what is the purpose of Brahma in creating Narada as one of the rishis besides the 9-1? He created Narada, as we know, that by deliberation and contemplation, to propagate, to promote the path of bhakti in the world and to help the conditioned souls to get rid of those sufferings and go back to Godhead. How does it happen? How did it happen? So Narada satisfied Brahma because he has to also satisfy his father Brahma, who is also his guru, by rendering the service to acquire the transcendental knowledge. And what is that transcendental knowledge of? Bhakti. So Narad Muni is an independent soul. As a devotee of Lord, he can travel like spaceship. This is the word used by Srila Prabhupada. Anywhere and everywhere at any time. These are the three important adjectives for the freedom that Narada is enjoying as a dear devotee of the Lord. So he can travel anywhere, everywhere, and at any time, at any point of time, at his free will. So these are the four important factors of his travel throughout. His heart is like a spiritual TV, and chanting is like that particular switch. Once you put on the TV, the switch, you get the picture, and that picture is the picture of the Lord, which is getting reflected onto the screen of his heart. So this is the achievement of Narad Muni. So how he is different from the karmis and yogis, jnanis then? Since he is a bhakti yogi, so what happens with the karmis? Karmis do not go beyond universe as they get stuck into the material world and enjoyment part of it. What about jnanis? Jnanis are unable to go beyond the universe because they are limited by their knowledge, and the journey of the knowledge gets terminated at Brahmajyoti level. So these are the two limitations at the heart of which, on the background of which we are going to look at Narad Muni's achievements. So we can use the analogy of lighter. You know the lighter, petrol lighter. Once we put the switch on, you get the flame or the flash. So transcendental chanting of a pure name of Lord is like that lighter. It produces flames, and you get that particular picture on your spiritual television. And when you see the picture of a God, or God appears before you, his presence is felt every moment. So you can see this is the journey that he has completed so far. In the earlier shloka that I did, shloka number 22, what was the essence of that particular shloka? Because of his power and intensity of bhakti, he got darshan of the Lord. But what was the duration of that darshan? Momentary. So that from momentary darshan to the point of permanent darshan. And what kind of permanency? At will. As and when he would intend to see the beautiful lotus face of the Lord. So this is his achievement. So therefore he could feel the presence of the Lord at any point of time due to the quality and intensity of his bhakti and chanting. So let us look at that. And it has been developed at the backdrop of his readings of all the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitaram, and whatnot. This is the one option for devotee. What is the another option as a conditioned soul? And we are applying this to us. We have got many books which we put under the title or category of Gramya Katha. What is Gramya Katha? That is stories based on material life and material enjoyment and the repetition of that temporary pleasure. So the choice is between these two, Divya Katha or Gramya Katha. This is one. Another one is that, again we apply to this. The choice is there, whether we want to go to theater as conditioned souls or to the temple as devotees. So this is another choice. So I am giving you two categories, Divya Katha and Gramya Katha on the one hand, and visiting theater and visiting temple. So in this process, what happens? We get, look at the example. Advaita Acharya, one of the Panchatattvas. What did he do? He prayed intensely and chanted intensely the name of the Lord so that he could appear once again in this world to save the conditioned souls who are suffering a lot, which he could not tolerate. So because of the power of his prayers, which penetrated into the heart of the Lord, so Lord appears in this world once again in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who appears here to distribute Harinam freely through his Sankirtan movement. So this is the power of one of the finest devotees of the Lord, like Advaita Acharya. So we have got so many examples of the topmost devotees of the Lord who can do better things for the well-being of the world. So what are the benefits one gets if you turn out to be very sincere and dedicated devotee of the Lord? Sincere devotee of the Lord thus receives many rewards for their unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed devotion means pure devotion. Take the example of Narad Muni. What are the rewards he is enjoying? Number one, he can travel in the three worlds at his free will. Number two, he is blessed to glorify and sing the glories of the Lord. He is given transcendental body free from the ravages of time. Time cannot inflict any changes. He could see and feel Lord's presence on the spiritual television on the screen of his heart at any moment while he is chanting or Shuddha Naam of the Lord. So these are the benefits that Narad Muni is enjoying. So if Narad Muni is such an elevated devotee, exalted devotee, devotee of the highest quality and highest degree, let us look at his work dynamics, how he works, where he works, and the manner in which he works. So Narad Muni is the father of devotional service. He is the promoter of bhakti. And therefore, he dealt with different types of people in bhakti. Let us look at the scope of the various people that he dealt with. To begin with, Prahlad Maharaj. I'm taking the sequence. Prahlad Maharaj. So, Prahlad Maharaj got instructed when he was in the womb of his mother Kayadu, by Narad Muni. So you see the selection of his devotees or his students or tots that we call. Kayadu, the wife of Hiranyakashipu. Number 2, Dhruva Maharaj, a boy of 5 years old, disappointed by his father's treatment and stepmother's treatment, and therefore he wants to do something extraordinary whereby to achieve the balance in his life in terms of affection and in terms of power too. Another example is the example of Chitraketu Maharaj. He is a king. So a child in a womb, a boy of 5 years, and then the king, Chitraketu Maharaj, Mrigari and Valmiki, the hunters who enjoyed killing animals in halfway through. They never killed animals out and out, 100%. So this is another dimension of his devotees that he changed. 1,000 sons of Daksha. So while doing this particular process of teaching bhakti to these various types of people, he traveled through different places, experienced different situations. And what were the highlights of his travel? 2 important points, the forest and the cities. So forest represents wild animals, for example, cobra. And cities represent advanced civilization, the climax of the economic, political advancement of the human beings. So he could balance these 2 components of the exposures. Because as a sannyasi's duty is to keep traveling. Sannyasi is not allowed to stay at one place for a longer duration of time. So what happens if he stays? He gets contaminated. Therefore, his life should be like a river, clearly, completely keeping flowing. Once the river gets stagnated, it suffers from contamination. So here Narad Muni says that if sannyasi is not able to travel, what is the option that is left to him? He should get married. But the surprise element is ahead. And what is that? He should get married to Bhagavatam. He should be into teaching. Otherwise, marriage will give you different connotations that is not available here. So, such diversity in life enabled him to deal with different situations successfully, which included demons and devatas too. Another feature of Narad Muni as a teacher, what were the features of teacher that he enjoyed? What is teaching? Let us look at the teaching first. So teaching means parakaya pravesham. That is entering into another's mind. So Narad Muni could enter into the minds of different devotees that I have just mentioned, from Mrugari to Prachetas, wide range of devotees. Why? Why he has to enter? To diagnose what are his likes and dislikes, and in what mood he is situated into of learning. Whether he would learn or he is not in a mood to learn, like that. This is one thing, that he should be a good reader of a character of his student. Number 1, diversity of his interests. So, what was his expertise as a Narad Muni? He was expert in Vedic knowledge, first and foremost, Niti Shastra, Rajaniti, art of debating with Brahaspati, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Yoga Shastra, Sankhya Shastra, Vairagya, singing and music. So the scope of his reach to different fields of knowledge is quite amazing. And what are the qualities which supported him, complemented in his process of teaching? Compassion for all, mind fixed on Krishna, sense controlled, humanity, humility, and appreciation quality of absorption in Krishna. There are two examples that we can cite here. He appreciated Shishupal also. You know that Shishupal? Shishupal was also absorbed in Krishna's name. He always meditated on him, but with a negative connotation, with a negative intention. Fear and envy like that. But still he appreciated in a mood of Radharani. He also appreciated Sukdev Goswami, the first speaker of Bhagavatam. Why? There is another contradiction in the personality of Sukdev Goswami also. He is the expert in Bhagavatam, but what are the lacunas, what are the minuses in his personality or character? He is not properly trained, officially trained. He never attended any Gurukul system of acquisition of knowledge. Still, only because of his extraordinary love into the lotus feet of Mukunda, he could achieve the prema, reach to the prema stage. Another feature of Narad Muni, which symbolizes his humility towards the people that he met and interacted with, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukdev Goswami. He was one of the attendees of that particular class, which was specially organized for Parikshit Maharaj. And what was his mood? As if he was hearing it for the first time. He was so passionate about hearing that. So that is another quality of a good devotee. And that all these qualities have made him to progress and mature in the process of bhakti. So what are the things that we can learn from? I'm just cutting it short. From Narad Muni and his way of teaching bhakti to the needy ones, the conditioned souls. So lessons to be learned or take away from this. Number one, if we serve Mahabhagavat like Narad Muni, we can also get eternal body to engage in devotional service of the Lord and to enter into Golok Vrindavan. Number two, how it can happen? Spiritual master will engage us in Krishna's service to get purified from material desires and all designations. Number three, what does disciple means? Disciple means one who is surrendered to Guru and Gauranga and who does exactly what his spiritual master has instructed him to do. Narad Muni, liberated soul, is showing us how to practice bhakti by performing devotional service. We need to depend on the mercy of spiritual master to succeed in this process. Because bhakti lata bij comes from spiritual world into the material world. And what is the material world compared with? We know the three important adjectives: dukhalayam, asashvatam, and what is that? Andhakupam, blind well. So who is the person who can take you out of this blind well? It is only the Guru, the spiritual master. Therefore, we need to have a spiritual master. So, with the help of Guru, we can come out of this world holding onto the creeper of bhakti. Because spiritual master is a representative of Krishna and he can help us only. Therefore, to reach to Krishna, we have to take the help of or mercy of spiritual master. Krishna cannot be met directly, independently. You need to have a via process. For example, the Prime Minister of India, if you want to meet about book distribution and some exemptions and CSR schemes like that. So, can you meet Prime Minister directly? No. There is a process to meet Prime Minister, if at all it happens. What is that? You have to first contact his secretary or his personal assistant and to seek his appointment, which will take couple of months or series of months. Or sometimes it may not be materialized also. So this is the situation in the material world, and therefore in spiritual world also you need to follow the procedure. So why spiritual master is given central position in the life of Narad Muni and all the devotees? Because he is Tattva Darshina. He has seen the absolute truth. He has realized it, he has experienced it, and therefore equipped to give it to others. Therefore, he is eligible to pass it on to others to benefit from. So, what is the conclusion then? So, be in the world. You are destined to be in this world. So, be in the world, but not of the world. You should not get involved into the world, should not get the identity of the world. This is a passing phase, passing stage of your life. So that is the thing. So in Hindi, if you want to say that, इस दुनिया में रहो, लेकिन इस दुनिया के मत बनो, बनो मत, रहो लेकिन बनो मत. So you can take the another analogy, like a lotus flower, which is rooted in the muddy waters, but keeps its beauty, shape, fragrance, and color for the service of the Lord. So we should be rooted, we are rooted into material world, but we should be targeting to the bhakti process and to get rid of this particular world as the destiny of the lotus flower is. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. So since it is the marathon month, Gita distribution is on in full swing. So, and I was asked to speak something about that to motivate already motivated devotees like you. So some thoughts about a book distribution. So books are the basis of any change aimed at to happen in spiritual life. For anything positively happening in spiritual life, books are the basis. Therefore, distribution is must, and therefore buying and reading of the books is must. What is the preaching? Preaching is nothing but book distribution is one of the components of preaching. That's why ISKCON worldwide is getting appreciated only because of the potency of the books of Srila Prabhupada being sold, distributed, read, and meditated upon. As a result, lakhs of people across the world have been benefited so far. So by distributing books, you are going to help the people to its most. What is book service? Distribution of book is a service to God directly. Book distributor, and this is said, therefore he is very dear to Krishna. He is very dear to Krishna. Therefore, and this is my appeal to all congregation members. What is that? Every respectable person, as you are all, should have a full set of Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and copy of Bhagavad Gita, at least one, in his home library. Number one, having the acquisition of books. Number two, reading the books. and teaching based upon your reading to the others who need it most. And then preach the others the message of all these books. Books are our propaganda weapons, says Srila Prabhupada. It's a weapon. And what is the weapon? Duty of the weapon? To defeat the influence Maya Devi and her army. Weapons are to be used to defeat the Maya Devi and her influence and her army, and to deliver the world from the suicide course. We are going through the suicide course. Suicide course means Atmahatya Marga. So the only way to save ourselves from the suicidal mode is buying and reading and preaching the books of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has said that those who distribute my books, this is a very important sentence, lifelong, not this season only, or not next year, lifelong, throughout. Huh? So he has said that who distributes my books lifelong, he will be taken to the Bhagavad Dham. Bhagavad Dham by Lord Chaitanya himself. So what is the guarantee you need? A direct certificate is available. Direct journey, only invest your time and energy in distribution of books. So let there be chain of infection. Infection I am always using positively. And what is that infection? That is through book distribution. First, you infect the buyer, make him a consumer of the book, that is reader of the book. Then make him a beneficiary of the book. Then make him preacher of the book. And then make him the distributor of the books to bring out the revolution. So this is the cycle. My beginning is my end, like that. So the buyer should be preacher. That is our target. And that's why we can create a kranti in this world. So play a role of catalyst. A book distributor is a catalyst, and catalyst is a word from the word of chemistry, my favorite analogy or metaphor. Because catalyst means to be an agent of change. You force the change in a given situation. So you are the agents of change. So what is the today's position then? We are at war. We are living in a war-like situation. So as a warriors, we get up early morning, feed ourselves, and go out to the field, on the battlefield, to fight with enemy. Similarly, we are spiritual warriors. You are all spiritual warriors. Get up early, as you are doing. Perform your sadhana. This is the fuel, the petrol you need for your day's activity of distributing books. Your sadhana should be strong. What is meant by sadhana? At least complete 16 rounds before you leave your place for book distribution. Then go to preach and distribute books. So strong sadhana is the thing that needs to be looked at. So these are some of the things that. So my request to you is that, sorry, I missed out some of the points. Purity is the force. So what are the purity components? I will just mention points. Purity of knowledge, that when you go for distribution of book distribution, you should have basic knowledge of all the books that you are selling. And you should be able to highlight the key points of that particular, what is into that. Whether it is Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Cleanliness of internal, outer cleanliness. Internal means your mind and heart should be clean. And externally means your body should be clean. Should be sadhana based. You should be optimistic in your mood and approach. You will get series of examples which will upset you. When you approach 10 people, you will get at least 1 people nodding to your request. But 9 people's rejection should not make you pessimist, should not disappoint you. Therefore, you need to be robust and pessimist. Seek mercy of spiritual master every time you are in difficulty in distributing books, because that mercy and the mercy of the Lord combined together will empower you to achieve the target that you have been given to. Another important thing that we are very poor at, and what is that? Explore CSR facilities. What is CSR? Corporate social responsibility, which is a concession given to the companies and industries where thousands and hundreds of employees are working, where production work and distribution work is happening. These companies are given a certification by the government of India that they can contribute 10%, 20% as per the size of the company and the employee number for the social welfare. So you should explore that component. That is a big component. So that you can buy your books through that amount collected and distribute those books to the needy ones in schools and jails and orphanages like that, so that they also get benefited. Very simple tip that we many a time ignore. And what is that? You have got, all of you have got a phone, mobile, which is what is the first condition of mobile? You have a list of contacts. So identify, strike at least a few contacts. Let us say you have got 100 contacts in your mobile phone. At least out of that 100, 10 contacts are such that they will respond to you as and when you call them, who are ready to do anything for you as and when they are called for. So strike those 10 numbers and make them to buy the books, and also make them instrumental in selling the books. And the negative thing, or the cautionary thing, don't waste your time to the closed mind. Save the time and invest it in the open-minded people who are ready to listen to you, who are internalizing what you are saying, and who are responding positively to buy a book. Allow them to touch the book. Go through the pages so that even touching will have an impact on him. So ask him to buy it and see the effect. Give them examples that how it has impacted you, how you got influenced by the reading and the message of the book, so that he is also getting enthused. And the last point in book distribution is enthusiasm should be 110%. You should be enthusiastic and should be positive to reach the target. And as we have heard from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in his lecture on book distribution, that he just encouraged, his style of encouraging is very different, out of the box. And what is that? He said that what I said to Pune congregation, I am seeing the same feeling in your eyes. I am quoting his words. I am seeing the same feeling in your eyes. And what is that? The feeling of paying tribute to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. This year is dedicated as a book distribution year for Gopal Krishna Maharaj, because he was a specialist in that. And so this is the right way to pay tribute to. So you just pledge to yourself that if I had distributed 100 books last time, this year I am distributing 10 more books or dozen more books for my tribute to, paying tribute to Gopal Krishna Maharaj extra. So just by expanding the frontiers and boundaries of your capacity, you can do wonders, and I don't have any doubts about your success. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share and encourage the already encouraged devotees like you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So any questions? We have some time to take questions.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
for a very wonderful class. Uh, I just have one small question regarding book distribution.
Okay.
So many times when we approach, so people they say that I have a Krishna book, I have Bhagavad Gita already at my home. So in those cases, when they say that they are already having, so can you suggest some practical
Yes,
things
that-
that we can
Yeah,
do
I
that?
have been going through that. Being a teacher, being a teacher, I visit many schools and colleges. And you will be surprised to know that when I visit 10 colleges, 10 schools a day, how many open their doors? And especially the English medium schools are not opening their doors. They have got some enmity with our scriptures. But barring that, regarding to your question, is that persistence is one thing. Keep on appealing. But when a person says that, yes, I'm very happy that you are selling Bhagavad Gita, but sorry, Prabhuji, I have got a copy of it already. I have read it also. So it means that he is just crisscrossing your request. He is declining your offer. So in that case, you can say that it's fine that you have book, you have read it, you have been benefited. I'm very happy to know about that. But I have got something else to say to you. What is that? You can buy this book and present it to your friend, present to your child, present to your acquaintances, your neighbors, so that they can get benefited as you have been benefited. So extend his boundary, open the closure, his closed mind that I have a book, therefore no reason to buy. You give him another reason to buy where it could be distributed for the well-being of the other person. So this is one thing. Even Lord Nityananda followed the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and distributed books and presented daily scores. You know that. And in that case, he had two reasons, two purposes in book distribution. To preach the bhakti cult of Krishna consciousness to the world and to defeat all kinds of atheistic tendencies in the world. You will find atheist, why far off, close by. He lives in our neighbor. Our neighbor envy is owner's pride, like that. There was one of the advertisement for a TV. So envious people also encourage us in a way because we are prepared to face such people, and therefore we can tell them that book is a boat, reading is the instruments, winds to cross the material ocean that you are suffering from, that you are into. So encourage them, give them positives, compel them to a point, take them to the point where they have got no option but take your book. And I believe in that. Being optimist to its maximum level, I believe that success will happen because when you are sincere, when your intention is pure, bona fide intention will always knock at the closed doors of the hearts of buyers. So have positive attitude and you will be successful in that particular thing. So even this is another very important in bulk book distribution. The occasions where we celebrate in the company of people, marriage anniversary, birthdays, anniversaries, you can appeal those people, the parents of bridegroom are like that. So please take these in hundreds and thousands and distribute it to the people who are coming, your near and dear ones, your relations, and set a new trend of giving return gifts to the people attending the marriage or birthdays or anniversaries. Give them Krishna. Giving Bhagavad Gita means giving Krishna, and getting Krishna means change is round the corner. Revolution is bound to happen. So use these opportunities and exploit them to its maximum to distribute books. So be positive and create new reasons to make them buy. So no has no place in our book distribution. Yes. Okay. Have I got left anything? Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग भक्त वृंद की जय, कथा में उपस्थित सभी भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।